Today, I'm going to let you in on some of my secrets for making things taste great. My ingredients. Now, from what I've found, it does matter the ingredients that you use according to flavor. Some of the things I use here I have found have a bit more intense flavor than just a normal one that you would get from a grocery store. Some of them did come from the grocery store. But we're going to start with nutritional yeast. Great. It's got a buttery flavor, kind of a cheesy flavor almost. It's a dry powder, and they can come in bigger flakes or even a really fine powder. It kind of just depends on how you like it. We like to use it. We like to spray some Bragg's liquid amino acids. This actually comes in a little spritzer. When we make popcorn, we spritz a little of the Bragg's on there, and then we sprinkle nutritional yeast, and it is amazing. I don't think I found many people who didn't like it. And where I get it from iHerb, which will be in the link. And it comes in a package like this, a 1 pound package, which is, it's gonna save you a ton of money. This right here probably costs about as much as what a bottle this size or even smaller would cost you in the grocery store. So I will have that link on the website. Next, there's Bragg's liquid amino acids, and you can see we use this a lot. This is our salt replacement. So 1 teaspoon of this is less than a quarter even of what the amount of sodium is in salt, table salt. I think it's even maybe 1/10. So I like to use this in soups, and many of my other dishes you'll see in the ingredients it has Bragg's liquid amino acids. And like I said before, we spritz that on popcorn and add nutritional yeast. Balsamic vinegar, we use this a lot in our salad dressings because it has a super powerful punch of flavor, and it gives it kind of a tartness too. So if you like those really strong flavored vinaigrettes, this is what we would use. We also like to use, and I think I tend to use this even more, the white wine vinegar. I like the flavor a little bit more. And this has been our favorite one so far in our latest salad dressing that we use. Raw cashews. They do need to be raw, unsalted, non-roasted cashews. And we use these in our salad dressing. We put it in there, and it gives it a kind of a creamy, buttery flavor. And making Alfredo sauce or any kind of sauce that needs that creaminess factor to it. Some Indian dishes have that creamy, instead of heavy cream, you would just put some cashews with a little bit of liquid in a blender and until it's really smooth and creamy, and that's your replacement. Then it comes to tomato paste, and this is an organic tomato paste, and it doesn't have any salt. And I think in almost any grocery store you look, you can find an unsalted tomato paste. And this is for soups mainly, or sauces, like a spaghetti sauce. It just adds a huge punch of flavor. Now when you're cooking nutritarian without salt, sugar, or oil, sometimes foods can taste a little bit bland. So that's why I use these different ingredients, because it just gives it that punch that you need. Rancho Gordo beans, my favorite. This company is just amazing. He grows heirloom beans that are from all over the world so that he can keep them in the seed bank, keep them in the world instead of, going extinct. These beans are just wonderful. I've compared them to just any store-bought dry beans, and there's no comparison whatsoever. These are so rich and creamy and buttery. It just has a whole level of depth of flavor that you can't get from the store. So that will also, all of these will be on the link. Onion powder. Now this isn't the brand that I use, I just put it in this little jar. But it comes from iHerb in the same 1 pound bag as the nutritional yeast for very affordable. And it's also organic, which most of the onion powders that you find in the store are not organic, and they're really sulfury. So this is what I use in almost all of my main dishes, and it really gives a huge amount of flavor. And I put it in our salad dressings and everything. It's just wonderful. Smoked paprika also, love it. This came from Trader Joe's. Great price. And this just adds, you know, to some of your sauces that would typically have meat in them, or main dishes that would have meat in them. This just kind of gives it that subtle smoky flavor that meat would usually put into a dish. We love this. And sometimes we even sprinkle it onto our popcorn with a nutritional yeast, and it gives it a little bit of that smoky flavor. It's really yum. The next is medjool dates. I like to use medjool dates rather than the store-bought dates, just because they are so caramely. And if you get one from the store, I just put it in this container. If you get one from the store and compare them, the dates from the grocery store are kind of dry and they're a little bit brittle. Sometimes they're a little caramely, but I don't really find that too often. You get the medjool dates, you squeeze them to get the seed out, and it's just this buttery, creamy texture, and it's just, the flavor's so much better. And if you need, you know, more sweetness, like your desserts, or even in a, maybe the nice ice cream, the banana ice cream, or the cherry ice cream, sometimes we add a date just to make it a little bit sweeter. This is my non-alkalized cocoa powder that Dr. Furman talks about. Now this, I thought, was really difficult to find a cocoa powder that is non-alkalized. I didn't find it in any grocery stores I've been to, but I looked on iHerb, same company, and it comes in the same 1 pound bag, and it's a really great quality cocoa powder. Maybe the depth of the flavor isn't quite as good as a store-bought cocoa powder, because apparently when they take it through the alkalization process, it richens the flavor somehow. But this has at least 50% more of the phytochemicals and the alkaloids that you want to keep in your food to make it more health beneficial. So I go for this every time. Okay, next on to tools. The two main staple tools in my kitchen are my Blendtec, which could be any high-speed blender, really, Vitamix, or I'm not even sure what the other names are, but this guy, I love it. And we opted for the silence case thing, which has really helped because we live in an apartment complex. And you know, I think anybody that has a Vitamix or Blendtec knows that they're pretty darn loud. So we wanted to respect our neighbors and, you know, give them a bit of a break, because we use this thing, wow, at least 5 or 6 times a day. So that noise would just be rattling around in here, you know, driving the neighbors crazy. So this is great. The case was, you know, it was a bit extra, but it was worth the money for me. And I love the Blendtec. Its power is great. It can make really great creamy sauces and our banana ice cream, which is its primary use. Okay, the next is the pressure cooker. That's what I use the Rancho Gordo beans for, or in. I like to cook the beans the slow cook way on the stove, or in a Dutch oven in the oven. A little bit better because the depth of the flavor seems to deepen while it's cooking. And whenever you cook it in, you know, vegetable broth or tomato sauce, you know, to make a good baked bean recipe, which I have, if you check that out. But if you're pressed for time, which most everybody is today, I find that using a pressure cooker is a great time saver. Put these in, you know, I like to soak them overnight, which is pretty easy, you know, before you go to bed, stick them in there. When you get up in the morning, they're ready to go. And it takes about anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes to do. And then you just leave them alone and let it decompress, you know. The depth of flavor isn't quite as great, but it saves you a ton of time. And beans, you know, great staple. You should have beans, I think, every day. It gets a lot of that bulk in your diet, makes you feel a little bit more full, and they're just loaded with all kinds of great vitamins and nutrients. So there you go. Those are some of my secrets. Try them out. Get one of them, or go on iHerb. Check out iHerb. They've got all kinds of great products on there, and for a fraction of the price. Try some yourself. Try some of my recipes, and be sure to use some of the same ingredients that I use, so you get the same depth of flavor. See you next time.